So let's talk to a trader with Vetiva Capital, Awanyo Mamukuyo. He joins me now to talk about the financial markets. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining me on the program this morning. So even though there was just 4 days of trade last week, it was quite a busy week, wasn't it, for the markets?
Yes, it was. We could see markets reacting both ways during the week. Market was largely mixed. First of all, we saw some buy in the market, and it was mostly on the short end of the curve. And this is because of liquidity which banks had kept for if there was going to be any FX sales. And as there was none, the banks came in to buy short-dated bills. The CBN also conducted OMO auctions on every day of last week, coupled with the primary market auction we saw and the Treasury bills and bond space. The primary markets closed at 14, 17.5 and 18.68 for the 91 days, 182 days and 364 days respectively. And the bond space, we saw a 50 bips rise on the 20-year paper as it closed at 16.48. We also saw a bit of rise on, like a 25 bips rise on the 10-year paper, closing at 16.24. All this just points to uncertainty in the market and just points to the fact that portfolio traders and banks will rather buy treasury bills on the long end, on the short end of the curve, rather than put their money on the long end of the curve in the bond space. At the moment, the market is largely still uncertain as to where yields will go. So portfolio managers will likely put their money in treasury bills right now rather than bonds.
So what are the headline issues that will likely have an impact on the markets this week? I know most of last week we're talking about inflation numbers coming up from the National Bureau of Statistics, as well as other numbers from the Statistics Office, and of course the budget presentation. So what issues would likely drive the market this week?
For this week, the market will largely be driven by the inflow of FAC. Also, if the CBN continues to conduct OMO auctions, likely we expect OMO auctions to continue as we expect FAC inflows into the system. We expect players who are very liquid to start by buying, but this buy will be countered by the OMO auctions done by the CBN. On the long end, we expect market to remain largely flat. Basically because yields are already trading at the 18.5 to 18.68 levels, as we have seen in the auction, and we know the auction closed at 18.6. So we expect markets on the long end to relatively trade around those levels. We expect to see some buying also on the short end, as players will just prefer to put their money on the short end of the curve right now to just ride the tide. I don't really see any major surprises this week. For the bond space, I expect market to be largely mixed for this week and the rest part of the year. What will drive market again going into 2017 is when we see our Q1 calendar. When that calendar comes out, then at least we can now start to see, okay, what is government trying to borrow for Q1 2017? And that will give us direction as to where yields will play. But for now, I think market will just be largely quiet in that space, and yields just hover around same levels for the rest part of the year. Same also for the treasury bill space, 18.4 to 18.68 levels for the long end, and we're expecting PMA this week for the treasury bills. There is no 1 year on offer, so we expect to see much pressure on the 182-day bill for this week. We do not expect it to close as high as 17.5 as it did at last auction, due to the fact that there is no 1 year this week. So most investors will largely put their money in 182-day bills. So we expect it to close around maybe 17.3 to 17.4 levels.
Which means that Santa has decided to take a holiday from the markets as well.
Yes, we can largely say that, but we will still expect to see them partly in the OMO space, so as to counter the effect of FAC in the system. Because if they do not conduct OMOs, then we're likely to see a large buy in the market, and that will be counter to the CBN's current tight monetary policy stance.
Awanyo Mamukuyo, thank you so much for joining us on the program this morning. He is a research analyst with Vetiva Capital Management.
Thank you for having me.
Well, let's also take a quick look at the poll we've got running on our Twitter handle at This Morning. So we're asking, how would you assess Nigeria's 6-month-old flexible forex market regime? Good, fair, poor, or none of the above? As I already mentioned, it's on our Twitter handle at BizMorning. You can also send your thoughts to businessmorning@channelstv.com. That's our email. And you can also tweet your response to @channelstv or send it to me. I'm at CTV Harriet or at B Bosin. So we'll be back in just a moment. We're turning our attention to developments in the Nigeria energy market. Stay with us.